Yeah, well, I think programmatic has really enhanced the value of streaming as a marketing medium. And if we take a step back and look at the industry in terms of how it's adopted programmatic, according to the FreeWheel Video Marketplace report for second half last year, we're up to 38% of all streaming impressions are transacted programmatically. And why are marketers adopting programmatic so rapidly? And it's really because they're being held accountable to making their marketing dollars go further. Now more than ever, they need to be nimble, they need to drive to business outcomes, and they need scale and addressability, and it needs to be simple. And so programmatic continues to prove itself to be a useful tool in creating a simplicity in planning, executing, and measuring complex TV strategies.
What about the consumer experience, and what does programmatic solve or not solve for the consumer experience around streaming TV?
The most exciting thing that programmatic has brought to the streaming landscape is it's democratized streaming for tens of thousands of marketers that never would have been able to approach it kind of in its legacy model. So they can tap into streaming in ways that actually work for their business model. And that creates diversity of advertising for the consumer, right? They're seeing relevant messaging and they're seeing more brands. It's not the same 200 brands on TV.
Where is programmatic in terms of being an integral part or a functioning part of the live scenario?
Live has historically been kind of kept in the linear category. A lot of the big sporting events had historically pushed live through as a linear pass-through. So even if it was running on streaming, it was still being sold as linear. That's changing in a big way. More and more live is making its way into the programmatic ecosystem. And we're solving in the programmatic ecosystem for some of the complexities around live. It's not, live is a little bit different than your kind of traditional VOD, which is a lot more predictable. It's a lot of impressions at one time, and algorithms were not historically designed to solve for that. And that's actually something that the Yahoo DSP is building out this year, is the ability to predict and deliver against live inventory in a better way for our consumers.
So, election year, a lot of money coming in. How does that look in investment from the political advertising and programmatic and CTV, and where might that be heading?
Yeah, so political spend this year, this election season, is going to be over $1.5 billion in CTV spend. We're doing a lot in partnering in the political space this year. Yahoo is bringing in TV data sets. We're an early adopter of Samba's near real-time political audience segments that allows us to target key voter groups with time-sensitive political messaging. We're also doing a partnership with Ad Impact, which allows us to get really granular on political audience segments. So we're doing a lot to kind of allow these candidates to hit people next day based on what they're watching in TV.
Beau, tell us what's going on with the DSP and how you're sort of differentiating your offering.
Yeah, so we think about differentiating our offering in ways that drive value and unique benefits for consumers and for our customers. And ultimately CTV has been a top focus for our DSP over the last 4 or 5 years. I'd say data is one of our biggest differentiators, both our own identity solutions and our direct consumer relationships. But we've also partnered with leading TV data providers like Vizio, Inscape, DirecTV, and Samba TV in Canada, Australia, and the UK to drive cross-channel measurement and activation strategies in our platform. And then on the supply side, we're really differentiated. About a little less than a year ago, we announced the launch of Yahoo Backstage, and we had over 40 premium CTV publishers at launch. And so that's been a big differentiator for us, driving more working media for our customers. And this year we're going to evolve those strategies with our publisher partners to kind of lay the groundwork for identity in the CTV ecosystem. So there's a lot of really big announcements to come leading into the new fronts this year.